Мы зашли на стенд Greddy и решили узнать, что же нам нужно сделать для того, чтобы построить настоящие дрифт-кары. So, what should we do with our cars for the drifting, the Silvia S14, S13?
Well, for drifting, you're going to need power to spin the wheels. So, for a turbocharged car, probably the first thing you want to get is a boost controller. We have this Profect V-Spec 2. This will basically increase the boost for a turbocharged system. And by increasing the boost, of course, you get more air into your engine, and that produces horsepower. That's for the boost aspect. Now that you have more air in the engine or boost, you're going to have to get something to tune it as far as fuel and ignition. So that will be, we have the e-manage here. This is a basic, I guess you would call it a piggyback system, whereas you still use your stock ECU, but you can modify injector signals and ignition signals that the stock ECU produces to tune your engine. This is the basic unit. We have the e-manage, and we have the e-manage Ultimate, which is a higher end model of the e-manage, basically. So that is good for basically boost and engine tuning.
Should we stay our own stock engine SR20 dead, or we should change the engine?
The SR20 is good. The only thing, if you increase boost, you'll probably need a thicker head gasket. With the stock head gasket, you might have some problems. The head gasket might blow, or your compression might be too high. So generally, it'd be better to lower your compression a little bit.
How much horsepower is enough for drift?
For drifting, it really varies. The professionals usually use about 400 to 500 horsepower. But for a street-driven car, I'm sure 300 is plenty, just for an amateur drifter. Basically, this is our Spec V intercooler for the S14 and S15. Basically, this is a high cooling intercooler. Basically, with higher boost, the temperature of the intake will go up, and to prevent any kind of engine damage, this cools the air coming in, basically. So the higher boost you have, the more efficient cooling you're going to need, and this is what this is. It's a V-spec intercooler where the inside actually has cooling fins inside the intercooler itself, so it's very effective in cooling the intake.
And the price is about the $1,000, right?
About $1,000 US, yes.
So what can you recommend about the suspension? Because we need using this car not only for drift but also for driving in the street.
Right.
And the type of the suspension which can work proper way in winter time.
Okay.
And about the flexible supports, what the better?
Basically, the suspension that we have, you see there's two adjustments here. This adjustment is for the actual spring preload. So you can adjust you can lower it by adjusting the spring preload, or you can adjust it here without adjusting any of the spring preload. So this is real effective, especially when you're racing and driving on the street, because the bad drivability comes into play when your spring has too much play. So this, you can adjust ride height without getting any spring play, basically. And the valving and everything inside of these are very good. So it's very soft. You don't get a really hard ride, yet it's very effective. So it's good for drifting or racing or street driving, basically. So they go probably about 8 kilos in the front and maybe 5 or 6 in the rear. Generally, it depends on how much horsepower you have in the track condition and everything, but it's pretty much around there.
Or what exhausting system do you recommend, and what the diameter better for the drifting?
Okay. The most performance exhaust that we have is the Power Extreme 2. This is the most free-flowing, and it's as far as stainless steel is concerned. This for the Silvia it should be about 80 millimeter piping.
80.
Yeah, since it's turbocharged, you need a bigger pipe to flow up the exhaust. So that's about 80 millimeter is probably a good size.
Okay.
We do have this as well. We have the Power Extreme Titanium and the Power Extreme Titanium Racing Muffler. Your best bet for racing would be the Power Extreme TIR, which doesn't have any silencers. So the exhaust is louder, but it's the most free-flowing, and it'll give you the best performance.
Okay. And other one question, should we change the radiator for the drifting?
Yes. Drifting is really harsh on the motor, for one thing. And since you're sideways, it's very difficult for the radiator, the coolant, to get cooled down. So it's always good to go with a thicker radiator. And since aluminum is lighter, that's always a performance upgrade as well. So for better cooling and lighter weight, an aluminum radiator is good.
And could you tell me maybe the hugely sum, how much money we should spend for the tuning, all this stuff? It's about.
Well, drifting in general costs a lot of money. But in total, if you want to get a decent drifting car, it's probably going to run you, I would say, at least $5,000 or $6,000 of parts. That's to be able to get at a decent competitive level.
Среди тех, кто увлекается дрифтом, есть мнение, что Тейн одна из лучших подвесок. Мы решили проконсультироваться на стенде, какую лучшую подвеску использовать для Сильвии. So we have a question. What the suspension better for the Silvia S14, S13 for the drift, and not only for the drift, also for the driving in the streets in the city.
Okay. Well, we do have the Super Drift. This is a street made for the drifting. And this is perfect if you want to drift all the time. But you can drive on the street too. But if you mainly drive on the street, we recommend this one, Type Flex. Type Flex is a street damper and also good for street racing and stuff. But if you are looking for something really comfortable, go to the Super Street. Super Street is made for the nice and easy, comfortable street driving.
Is it okay for the drift?
Maybe this is a little too soft. Maybe you want to go to the Type Flex, or if you are drifting really hard, Super Drift is what you want to get.
Поскольку мы все ездим в основном зимой и дрифтуем тоже, то еще один вопрос. So please tell me, is it suspension okay for the winter time? Because in the Moscow sometimes a minus 20.
Right.
Is it good for this suspension kit or not?
Oh, they're good. I mean, there is an oil inside. It's not going to frost under the cold temperature. Yeah, I mean, it's disproven. You have nothing to worry about.
Are you sure?
Yes.
So this suspension will work proper way in the minus 20, right?
Yeah, there are cold places in Japan too. Northern Japan, Hokkaido. It gets really cold like that, Russia.
Okay.
And we have no problem.
If we decided to buy this suspension kit,
Yes.
could we put it by ourselves, or we should go to the special tuning atelier? Could we adjust by ourselves?
We always recommend going to the shops, like trained shops, because they do know how to install them right, and you have to install them correctly to get a good performance and reliability. And yeah, if you can, of course you can install by yourself, but it's always safer. It's an expensive product. You don't want to mess anything up.
Мне тут бумажку принесли. Говорят, рядом со мной пилот, который занимает 4-е место по дрифту в Японии, Масато. So, hi, what's your age?
29歳です。
How long are you drifting?
10年ですね。10年間。
And how much time I need to be a good drifter?
まあ1年、1、2年でもうできるようになってました。
Okay, and I should training every day?
いや、1週間に2回ぐらいですね。
Should I using the Drift Bible? There is a movie, Drift Bible, producing by Keiichi Tsuchiya, who is the owner of the Drift Wave. Should I using this Bible?
そういう技術的なことを、習得というか習ったら誰でもできますかと。
And also, did he use this Bible also?
そのバイブルいうかその元になるね、その本というか、指南書というか、それで自分でもそれで勉強したらできるよ。Yeah, you can do it.
Okay.